and welcome to round 5 of the ABB FIA Formula E World Championship right here in Tokyo. My name's Alexa Rendell and I'm so excited to be joined by Katie Fairman, championship journalist for Formula E, to preview everything that you need to know ahead of this race weekend. And Katie, how excited are you to be here in Tokyo?
It's amazing. This race has been rumoured, speculated for years, and so to finally be stood here on this Tokyo tarmac, it feels like a dream. It's great. I'm so excited.
I think Tokyo tarmac is going to stick. But before we delve into any more that we need to know about this race weekend, let's take a look at what's coming up the show today.
Yeah, I had a chance to sit down with the Nissan duo of Oliver Rowland and Sasha van der Straat, obviously their home race here in Japan, talking all things this season so far and about a pretty big announcement that came out yesterday.
Ooh, you tease.
I know.
And speaking of tease, let's see what Tom Brooks had to say about the track coming up later in the show.
Yeah, and it's all very well hearing from us, but I want to hear from these guys, the drivers, and what they have to say ahead of this weekend.
And before all of that, all of the Tokyo madness, we have to take a look back at what happened in São Paulo in that epic last lap drama.
All 5 lights are on then, the São Paulo E-Prix. It's time for a samba as we go racing and get underway. It's a good start then from Pascal Wehrlein, but look though at Mitch Evans trying to come through on the right-hand side against Stoffel van Dorn as we head down towards the first corner. Who's going to be last of the late breakers? Wehrlein leads. You can see Wehrlein there trying to make a move on teammate Felix da Costa, but Bird going into attack mode and emerging in the race lead. Nick Cassidy in the Jaguar is out of the São Paulo E-Prix in dramatic fashion.
It does look like the wing. Yeah, look, all right under the wheel, and that's it. And right at the wrong point of the track, right?
Yeah, the fast left kink is not where you want it to go.
No, if that had happened in a straight line, it had a good chance of controlling it.
Evans does defend. Oh, Antonio Felix da Costa getting roughed up here by Jake Dennis, who gets his elbows out through turn 1 and turn 2 and gets up into 4th place. That was class by Dennis. Evans there in 2nd place. Oh, and looking for the move there through the outside of the left-handed king. It's going to give him the inside line into 4, and Mitch Evans in the Jaguar takes the lead away. This is exactly the position that he was in 12 months ago. Evans is defending with every ounce of talent that he has got. We're side by side for 3rd in the background as well here with Jake Dennis versus Pascal Wehrlein. Dennis holding firm for now, but who is going to take the win of round 4 of the E-Prix? And look at Bird going for the outside. Surely he's not going to make that stick on Mitch Evans into turn 10. Bird's done it. Absolutely amazing from Sam Bird. He comes around the final corner to win here in São Paulo. Sam Bird takes his first victory since 2022. His first for Neon McLaren. Evans in 2nd and Rowland onto the podium on the final lap. Oh my God! Come on!
Bird is back. Bird is back.
What a moment for Sam Bird, and what a moment for this team right here, Neon McLaren Formula E team, their first ever win in Formula E.
Yeah, huge milestone for the team. Since they joined in Gen 3, they have had a podium, they've had pole positions, but never that victory. And Sam Bird brought it home, ended a 37 race streak of no wins. Quite a long time.
Yeah, for him especially.
Yeah, and so it really meant a lot for him. Like you say, you could hear the emotion in his voice, and yeah, a brilliant moment for the team.
And what a race to do it in as well. It felt like proper Formula E style shenanigans going on.
It was very much a peloton race. We were all told you shouldn't be at the front because you'll be using too much energy up, and so Sam spent so much time at the front. He was so vulnerable that I thought there's no way he's going to have enough energy to finish the race in first. But he managed to do it, but mainly because of Mitch Evans at the Jaguar TCS Racing team, who had a problem with his car. His car was derating with the crazy hot temperatures that we had in São Paulo. Very different this weekend. We bought our jackets.
Yeah, I'm glad to be back.
Yeah, but yeah, a fantastic win for Sam.
And we actually do need to talk about Mitch, because that was his first podium of the season. It's not the spot I'm sure he would have liked it to be on, but to come 2nd, Jag have had a podium in every race this year, and heading into this weekend, it's a big one for them.
Yeah, very much so. 100th race. I can't believe it. It seems like only yesterday I saw Mitch Evans at Donington testing. A little baby Mitch. But yeah, it's been a fantastic run for them. Obviously, they've had so much success, 13 wins in that time.
It's crazy.
Mitch Evans has delivered them 10. So, you know, he's definitely a person in that team that is a favourite. And yeah, hopefully they'll have some more silverware this weekend to mark the occasion.
Speaking of favourites, we also need to talk about Nick Cassidy, a local hero almost here in Japan.
Yeah, he's done so much racing here in Japan in Super GT and Super Formula that yeah, he loves racing here. And I really think that maybe it would be a nice full circle moment if he gets on that podium, maybe even a win here in Japan for Jaguar's 100th race.
Especially as the championship leader, he's going to want to be extending that for
and
sure.
The DNF he had in São Paulo as well.
Tough one.
Needs to have a comeback, and I feel like he can do it here.
Hey, where else better to do it? Speaking rather good place to announce big things. We've had a lot of news going on. As championship journalist, can you explain it to us, Katie Fairman?
Yes, so as well as Nissan confirming that they have signed up to Gen 4, which is a huge thing for the championship and for Nissan, we've also had the announcement that we're going to have a new powertrain supplier next year.
Okay.
I know. We've got Lola partnering up with Yamaha, two huge names across motorsport, and they're going to be producing this powertrain. And there's still some talk about who they're going to be supplying in this grid, but yeah, that's news to come.
That's super, super exciting, and I can't wait to delve more into that in future preview episodes. But for now, you mentioned Nissan just then. Let's see what the boys had to say ahead of this race weekend.
Well, I'm joined here by Nissan's very own Sasha van der Straat and Oliver Rowland. Guys, how are you doing? How are you enjoying Japan so far?
Yeah, loving it, I think. We arrived on Sunday, a few days to get over the jet lag. The weather's not been the best, but yeah, we managed to get around Tokyo, have some nice food, do quite a lot of marketing events, and yeah, generally just had a bit of fun.
Yeah, keeping very busy. And for you, Sasha, you must know this place like the back of your hand.
Yeah, I did book a very nice sushi on Sunday, but my friend Ollie was a bit sleepy with the jet lag, so he didn't come. But no, it's been great. It's great to be back in this amazing city, amazing country that I've been living for nearly 4 years. So it feels like a second home for me, and I'm very excited to be racing here for Nissan.
Yeah, obviously a huge weekend for the team, being a home race. You guys say you're super busy with things like that, but what are you expecting from the team coming into this weekend? Obviously back of 2 podiums for yourself, Ollie. Lots of good pressure, or how are you feeling about it all?
Yeah, I think you know, you have to take the confidence from the performance of the whole team. I think the first 4 races have been good. Obviously, to manage the podium in the last couple was probably overachievement, let's say, a little bit than what we expected, but we have to take the confidence. Come into a track like this, I think it's going to be new for everybody, quite a difficult challenge, but yeah, I think everybody seems in pretty good spirits. We're both heading in a good direction, and yeah, I mean, I would be lying if I wasn't dreaming to be on it again here in Tokyo. I think that would be a pretty good achievement, but let's see.
It will be 3 in a row, let's make it happen. And Sasha, you spent a lot of time, well, both of you have, in the sim. What are kind of your expectations for this track? You know, what kind of racing do you think we're going to get here?
It's going to be a very, very different race. I think that's what we were speaking a little bit. It's quite hard to say if it's going to be kind of a type of São Paulo like we've seen, or Portland, you know, saving a lot of energy, nobody taking the lead, and etc. I think it's going to be a very different race, so it's going to be a surprise for everybody on Saturday. But for us, of course, as Ollie mentioned, you know, we're coming, well, especially Ollie and his side of the garage is coming from a very positive last 2 races. On our side, I think we've made good progress since the start of the season, and we just need to put it together, and I think the performance should be around the same as Ollie. So I think for us, he's trying to maximize this weekend track time. Of course, it's a new track, so track time is very important to maximize everything, and then try to do the least mistakes, and hopefully we can have both cars yeah, near the podium. Would be a great achievement here in Tokyo, to be honest.
It would be. I'm sure there's lots of important people here as well this weekend for you guys.
No pressure.
Yeah, lots of
Sorry
pressure.
for reminding you. And a huge piece of news is that Nissan is committing to Gen 4. That must be a great feeling within the team, and knowing that as a team, you know, you're committing to the future of this championship.
Yeah, it's great. You know, I think it gives everybody stability. I think it shows Nissan's commitment to the championship. And you know, I think that shows in the performance gain over the last sort of 3 years of the team. The trajectory is going up, and yeah, it would be a shame to, I guess, stop earlier, especially when things are going better and better. And I think the future looks good. So yeah, you know, big credit to them. Obviously, it gives us some stability and all the engineering staff as well, which is fantastic. And I think it's also great for the championship that, you know, a big brand like Nissan can stay here, and hopefully for many more years to come.
Yeah, it feels like Gen 3 only sort of just arrived, but for Gen 4, are there any kind of things that you really want to happen in that generation, or something that you want added to the car? I know it's probably lighter still, more speed, but is there anything in particular that you really want to have in Gen 4 in Formula E?
I think the changes that they're planning to make already looks like pretty big steps, and I think with maybe the pit stop charge that we're going to have in the near future, that's going to already add quite a bit of a different race for the people seeing the races, but also for us in terms of strategy and etc. And then talking about the car itself, I think they're doing a huge step already for next year, and then Gen 4, I think it's going to be, yeah, it's going to be a pretty rapid car. So yeah, we're all very excited, and as Ollie said, I think it's very positive for the championship, for the brand that they come into Gen 4, and especially how we see the progression of the team since season 9, let's say, since really Nissan, it's an official Nissan team now. I think it's growing up very quick and it can only get better from here, I think.
Brilliant. Well, best of luck this weekend and thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What a huge weekend this is for Nissan, isn't it? I mean, they've both said that they've got so many sponsors here, so many big names from the Nissan company coming to this race. They need to impress.
They do, yeah, it's a huge race for them. A lot of pressure, I would say, but both drivers have said it's positive pressure. Obviously, Oliver's come off the back of 2 podiums.
He's on a roll.
Very good, very good. And then with Neon McLaren, which have the Nissan powertrains in their car, winning in São Paulo, things are adding up. The math is mathing. It could be a good weekend for them here.
It really shows the potential of this car, right?
Very much so, yeah. I think there's a good chance that maybe they could continue that podium success. I don't want to say too much and jinx it. Don't want Nissan to come after me, especially at the home race. But yeah, let's see.
I'd be really keen to see Sasha Fenestras doing well this weekend. That around this track, I've heard it's going to be important to do well at quali. We know he's a good qualifier.
We do.
And he said something about this being almost like a home race for him, right?
Yeah, much like Nick Cassidy, Sasha has also done a lot of racing here in Japan. So he's going to have the support of the home crowd for Nissan and for himself, really. It's going to be hopefully a great weekend for him.
Exciting stuff. Well, how about we take a look properly in depth at this track with our commentator, Tom Brooks.
The 5th round of the ABB FIA Formula E World Championship sees history being made as we head to the streets of Tokyo, the most densely populated metropolitan area in the world, with 40.8 million residents living there. 2.582 kilometers is the track length, 18 turns in total. We're right on the edge of Tokyo Bay's waterside. You can see attack mode is activated there on turn 4. Out of turn 8, we head into a fast section of the track for the blind right-hander of turn 9. We're on the edge of the Tokyo big side as well as we cascade through the perimeter. Turn 13 and turn 14 are very fast right and left-handed kinks, and then the final sector. Keep an eye out especially for turns 17 and 18, very reminiscent of Istanbul Park in Turkey. That completes a lap as we get ready to be big in Japan.
Tom mentioned just there that he felt like this track was quite similar to Istanbul Park, but Katie, I've heard drivers say Cape Town, I think I've heard them say Rome. What do you think?
Yeah, it's going to be a great track. I think there's lots of variables, things that are very different to how it was in São Paulo. Firstly, the weather is a lot cooler, so that's
super
gonna have
changeable.
To be, a different kind of experience for the drivers in terms of tyre management, but also this Tokyo tarmac, as we called it earlier, coined it, is a lot smoother than when we had in Brazil. There is still lots of elevation change and bumps along this circuit, so yeah, it's going to be a challenging one for the drivers, but I'm just happy to be back at another street circuit. It's so Formula E, and I know we've got lots of permanent circuits coming up on the calendar, but these street circuits are my personal favourite.
Right, well, we mentioned the drivers just then. How about we hear from them about what they have to say ahead of this race weekend?
Yeah, I think we're all looking forward to Tokyo. You know, it's a super exciting race for us all. First time Formula E has ever raced in Japan, so it's going to be an incredible event. Hopefully we can put on a really good show for the fans, and hopefully we don't get any rain either.
It's a country that I love going to. I've been going there for the last 6 or 7 years with racing, and yeah, to now bring the race to the heart of Tokyo, it's going to be a special moment for sure.
Honestly, I can't wait. I've never raced in Japan. I've been to Tokyo once before, actually to watch Nick racing when he was there. It's also our 100th race for me personally and also for the team, so it's a cool milestone. I'm looking forward to the energy. I love the city, as I said, you know, a proper street track, so yeah, I can't wait.
We're expecting a great race. For us, of course, it's an extremely important one. It's our first time we're going to Japan. We're a Japanese, of course, brand, Nissan, so it's of course our first time we have a home race, so we are very excited.
I mean, I heard it was sold out within minutes, so I'm sure that the turn-up will be great, and I'm really looking forward to meet all the Japanese fans.
We're expecting a lot of fans, Japanese fans. I've raced there for 3 years. I've got so many people that texted me that they're coming to the race, so we're expecting, you know, a lot of fans coming to support us. A lot of Nissan fans. Nissan fans are crazy there in other categories, so I'm expecting an amazing race for us.
You know, Japanese fans are super special. They are very, very passionate about motorsports. I'm very keen to see what we're going to get from them, because we know they have the passion for traditional motorsports, but being fully electric, you know, I'm super keen to see. But knowing the culture a little bit, I think it's going to be packed, and I think they're going to love it, and we're going to love it.
Yeah, so we've done quite a few laps in the simulator already, and honestly it's probably the most technical circuit we've ever had in Formula E. It's super bumpy, super technical, tight twisty circuits. It's like Rome on steroids, you could say. It's even more bumpy. Really excited to get out on track. Hopefully we can put on a good show for everyone and get some cool overtaking going.
It's got a combination of very tight corners, 90-degree corners, some very long straights. It should make for some great racing. It'll be bumpy, dusty, different tarmacs on the road. We haven't actually driven it yet in simulation, but I'm expecting it's going to be extremely challenging.
I really enjoy racing on street circuits. I think Formula E, the heart and soul is street circuits. I know we're obviously branching out onto bigger circuits nowadays, but ultimately all of the drivers really enjoy the close quarter action of street circuits, close walls and no forgiveness. So yeah, it just brings that new element of fear of making a mistake, and yeah, racing in Tokyo for the first time on a street circuit is going to be nothing better, and yeah, I really look forward to it.
We're still a very much growing championship and trying to expand, and I think that's, going to new tracks every year shows the growing interest of many countries to have us, and obviously racing in the streets of Tokyo is amazing. I think probably it's going to be one of the biggest and most special events we've ever had in Formula E, and I've been here since the beginning, seen some pretty special ones, but I'm definitely looking forward to that one.
I think Antonio said it best there when this weekend is going to be a really special event, and segueing into predictions, that's why I think he could have a really good weekend here. He's kind of on the up after a tricky start to the season, scored good points in São Paulo, and I don't know, there's something about Antonio, he's a showman, right? Coming into one of the biggest race weekends of the year, he's previously done well at New York, he's done well at Hyderabad, he's done well in Cape Town, he even won in Monaco. One of the biggest ones ever is now coming up. This is Tokyo, this is the one they all want to win. If we saw Dak back on the podium in his comeback era, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, and also worth mentioning, Porsche have got this stunning pink livery. So
how cool is this, by the way?
I love it. I'm
Sick.
obsessed with it. But yeah, I think Dak is a great shout. Cassidy as well with Jaguar, I think has got a good chance. We're also next to the DS Penske garage. Jean-Eric Vergne does have a good track record of performing at these new circuits, so that could be a possible prediction. The Stellantis powertrain has also looked really strong so far this season. So who knows, maybe Jev could be our 5th different winner in 5 races, and also DS Penske being a 5th different team. It's possible.
It is, and actually something that we haven't mentioned, potential for rain during FP1, which basically would make FP1 redundant, because then you'd only have FP2 quali and the race in dry conditions. Someone like Jeff, who's good at getting up to speed, I think that's a good shout from you.
Thank you. I did predict Sam Bird would win in Sao Paulo, so who knows, maybe my Mystic
Katie
Meg
Magic
capabilities, will carry over. Who knows?
Thank you so much for joining me, Katie, and thank you for watching along. All of the action is about to start unfolding. Head to the Formula E website for where you can watch where you are. We'll have plenty more of the action all across the Formula E social media. And don't forget, season 10, it's on.